What?
True story.
We were. So that reminds me of our Beast Burger adventure. So we were driving back in the blizzard.
Yes.
And we were on the interstate, and I saw this, and this car zipped past me and disappeared into the haze. But right before they disappeared completely, I saw them hit their brakes. And so I took my foot off the gas, and I was like about to hit my brakes, and then Google's like, accident ahead. And there was a turned over semi. The car that zipped past me freaking slid sideways and almost hit another car that was stopped there.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I'm just like, all right. I'm like, accident ahead. I'm like, I already see it, Google. I already see it. Because I saw the guy hit his brakes, and I'm like, why is he hitting his brakes? What is going on up there? And yep, there was an accident.
Makes sense.
Yep. And,
do you happen, when you're driving, do you have something in the vehicle that you think is with the reason that you have not had a very bad accident or gotten anything? It's like your spotter.
No.
Me.
That is
I
terrible.
would get in an accident.
See, I have this duck, this rubber duck that I bought as a joke for my sister, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And ever since, that duck just sits on the dashboard. He's so sun-bleached that he's almost completely pale, but that duck has sat in the same spot on that dash.
You need to redo your UV.
No.
And
then,
UV coating's not good anymore.
Well, that windshield's so bad.
Oh.
It's so cracked. I finally ended up I'm getting one here in the next few weeks through my buddies at Sid Dillon, but it's, I'm just like sitting here going, the duck sat there. I swear that thing has literally just seen random things in front of it, and then it just clicks. Like I could be seeing, there could be a deer that I have no idea it's there, or some dummy that's going to cross in front of me, or some random other guy that's just going to blow right by me, and all of a sudden I could be not paying attention, and I just pop my head up, and then the duck's staring at it. The duck's the spotter, man. I'm telling you.
No,
I'm telling you, Shaggy, it's the duck.
I don't have anything like that. No.
You need to get one. You need to get a little rubber duck. He's your dash cam.
Get a dash cam?
No, you just get a rubber duck, because then it becomes your dash cam.
Oh.
I'm going to invest in a rubber duck dash cam.
I just want an actual... I do kind of want a dash cam, but there's no good ones. I watched Linus Tech Tips video on dash cams. He's like, they're all junk! So maybe sometime, eventually, somebody will decide to make a good dash cam, but...
Elon.
The Tesla... Well, I mean
the Tesla dash cam.
I guess the Tesla...
Don't have Apple make it.
Well, no, Teslas have built-in dash cams, and that's probably one of the better dash cams around. Because, well, they have to use it for other things other than being a dash cam. But, like, we can't just drive Teslas around here. I wish we could, but we can't.
We can test drive them now.
You're not 25 yet. Oh, you are 25.
I am 25.
What are we doing? Okay, what are we doing next weekend? We gotta go
next
test drive.
weekend.
You gotta go test drive a Tesla and a Rivian. We're asking if we could try out the tank mode.
See what you need to do is you can go already test out a bunch of Teslas, and you don't have to drive that far.
No. You can't. You have to be 25.
At Dillon's?
Oh, Dillon's lets you do it for without having to be 25.
I don't know if they do it, but they got a whole flippin' inventory. Basically, can make a dealer for Tesla.
Well,
over there.
we have a freaking dealer right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's Dillon's Auto. They got a.
So you're talking the guy right here.
The guy right here.
Oh, no, he doesn't let you drive unless you're 25. Insurance. You have to sign a waiver and everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're talking about. That's
Well,
what
I know.
We can now.
Just say you could. That's what I'm saying. You
I
gotta
can
go over
ride-
there. I wonder if he still has that Rivian, because I know he was trying to sell that thing for $150,000.
He's got like 3 Rivians out there.
Did you know that when they actually got that one in there, it made Donut Media?
My God.
Donut Media had it in a video. They're going, hey, car prices are outrageous. Let's see what they are around the country. And Dillon's Auto made it with $150,000 on that Rivian.
What? It must have. Well, the thing, Rivians are expensive. He must have. He had
to have gotten it from a corporate or somebody. Because there was, at the time that he got it, no one could get one unless you knew somebody in the company.
Well, this guy's trying to be like the biggest electric car dealer in like in this part of the country.
His lot is usually he has some real nice cars to sit in that lot. That's a very pristine. Now, I don't necessarily know how much of a quote-unquote crook that it would be, because car dealers are car dealers. They usually, Woodhouse makes their money off off of freaking accidents that go in the lot for hail damage. They're still probably riding some of that paycheck off.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm always curious though if they have to go and like take all those cars and charge them every once in a while, or like, because like I know Tesla's like, especially in the winter, you have to charge them every other day if it's cold out. Otherwise, they phantom drain. So I don't know if he has to have some guy. Can I get paid to do that? Just go and every once in a while go and plug in the battery, let it get
There's
to 50%.
probably going to be openings to do it at some point. In
Well,
the
I
job
can't
market anymore, they'll hire you to do almost anything. Everybody's looking for workers.
Yeah, I just can't believe, because like the cars never look like they move, and I'm like, they have
Trust
to.
me, I work at a dealer. I know what the amount of fault sensors will look like when the car sits for 3 months. Heck, some
Well,
don't even start.
are the batteries difficult to remove? You just take out the batteries, keep them in the shop, and then put them in when someone wants to test drive?
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Oh, you can't do that?
No, they originally they had a design where the bottom of the car would like come out, and so the battery could just be like removed, and then a new one could be put in.
Yeah.
That way, you don't have to sit around waiting for it to charge. But it was just way too complicated, and way too expensive, and so they dropped it. But like Tesla batteries are, if you can, so like I learned. So, like, there's, like, Tesla's the only company that has 10 years worth of data on their batteries, and they, on average, only lose 10% of their original charge.
Their capacity?
Yeah, and this is, their battery tech 10 years ago. And so, like, the batteries outlast the cars, which everybody said, no, car will out...
Well, coming from any of the top 3, they will. Though, like, especially... I don't want to know what that Hummer battery is going to look like after people start driving those things.
I don't know. But, like, the Tesla batteries, no, they will outlast the car. And so, like, the big thing is, what do we do with all these batteries? Because we'll recycle the cars. And so a lot of them get put into grid arrays so that we can use them in our grid because, they're cheap batteries.
Yeah, because my old car, I think, went through 2 or 3 batteries. Because I replaced it once when my freshman year. And then, like, 5 years later... last winter, we replaced it again.
What's it in?
What?
What's it in?
Ford Focus. Well, not anymore.
It was a lead acid. No, what? He's talking about a lead acid battery.
No, but still, was it a hybrid?
No.
It was straight electric.
No, it's gas.
No, I'm talking about
You're talking about the regular car battery.
Yeah.
He likes to compare lead acid to lithium, and I try to tell him, you can't do that. They're completely different beasts.
Even though it obviously has nothing to do with it, this is one of the biggest jokes that I say, well, I'll never buy a electric car. I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy a car that by adjusting my lumbar will decrease my range.
That is true. It will do that. Well, they used to have a lead acid battery for jump starting it, because, like, back when phantom drain was a big issue and there weren't a lot of cars, you could jumpstart a Tesla with the lead acid battery because you could use that to like get it to move and get you to a gas station or whatever. But they removed that. But back in the day, they would have used the lead acid to power all the low voltages, so it wouldn't have actually lowered your range back in the day. Nowadays, yeah, it will.
They still have a regular battery.
Wait, do they have a way to?
No, they got rid of lead acid.
No, but like just a regular car battery. It's literally all off the bottom.
Yep.
So you can
decrease your economy by scooting your seat forward. See,
Wait,
I'm not buying that.
So you can't jumpstart them anymore with their
no, they
with
got
the way
rid
they're
of those
designed?
a long time ago.
Huh.
Yeah, it was just in their first like few years of producing their mass-produced cars, but I think they ended it right before the Model 3 started.
Oh wait, was that actually a thing though? By shifting your seat, you adjust the weight that much?
No.
I just made the joke of that because of the fact that it's pulling power from it.
They're motors. They're not like my car. They're not my truck. That's not a motor. That's an actual slide. No, they're you have to.
They're power seats.
But what was your comment on that?
No, it reduces your range.
Because it reduces your range because you're using electricity.
I thought it was reducing your range because it's adjusting your weight distribution in the car.
No, literally you're scooting your seat forward and backwards, and that's going to take miles off your battery because you're not...
Miles? No way.
Not miles.
No way.
No. Over time, if adjusting my seat will give or take 500 feet of range over a certain amount of time...
Why do you adjust your seat every time?
We're talking like a few
You get the point. You move your seat and you'll lose the amount of mileage you can
but
go.
we're talking a few watts compared to the kilowatts that it will draw at once.
But you act like you're like back in driver's ed, how you're messing with it for like 20 minutes. No, a little closer. No, back too far.
Because the driver's ed cars are always so beat to hell. That
No, too far. No, a little
When I
closer.
took driver's ed, I had to drive in, I think, a 98 Camry.
I drove that same car.
That tan one?
Yes. Had 300,000 miles on it.
You know what they drive now? Like a 2017 Malibu.
Wow. He upgraded. It must have finally died or something.
No, they probably just sold it to somebody. That or they just use it for a less affordable school district because of Shada and Henderson being friends.
Because I remember that thing. It had 300,000 freaking miles on it. And he's like, only thing I've ever done in this car is oil, and I had to replace the power steering fluid one time. He's like, that's it. And I'm like, what? 300,000 miles?
Okay,
That's all he's
scientifically, you guys can definitely back me up on this one. My dad has an 2016 F-150. 2016. Bought it off the lot from Woodhouse, blank, drove it home. That truck, I think, now has 148,000 miles on it.
Mm-hmm.
I replaced the brakes, the rotors, the pads, and I think like 126 or somewhere around there. He claims there is no way, at least this, those are the original pads that he bought for that truck. At 126,000 miles, he's never replaced anything on the brakes.
My old Ranger had the original battery, but it had the original battery. It had like 60 or 70,000 miles from 1999. This is in 2016 or 17. It still had the original battery in it.
But still, the brake pads.
I mean,
128,000
your
miles.
dad must have never used. He must have just like.
He's like me in
Ford
Colorado.
brakes are the most sensitive brakes on the face of the planet. You tap them and you.
This guy, we were up in Nevada and in Wyoming. It would be like, hey, please hit your brakes now, or else you're going to be going 120 down the side of a mountain. And he was just like, I don't want to use the brakes. And we're like taking it, and there's also this sharp turn. And I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna freaking die. Because they're not really grady because you're meant to be going slow. So it's just like,
Well, let me put it this
off
way.
the guardrail.
I was going about 5-10 under. It's just that by the time we reached the bottom of the mountain, we were going about 5 over. So I slowed down
I
before.
do the Ike Gauntlet from TFL Truck.
Because I slowed down before the grade, and so we were going like 5 under the recommendation at the top, and then you just pick up so much speed. And I'm like, this is kind of fun. This is kind of fun.
Except when you're taking the corners and you're just like, I'm going to die.
And then you reach the bottom, you're like, that wasn't so bad.
Okay.
And me and his brother are like clinging onto the side rails, like
Becoming the Jesus handle.
yes, just like, oh my god, what just
So
happened?
that sounds about like the time I gave my dad his last birthday and Christmas present. They were combined because I bought the things on Black Friday because I got them for like a third, if not almost half the price.
I don't know if you want to buy Black Friday brakes.
No. That's not what this is.
Oh.
You ever heard of the Extreme Experience?
No.
Okay, either way, it's a company that travels around the U.S. to multiple different tracks, courses. They just opened up a road course thing now where you can just take them through the mountains of Colorado and beach lines of California and all this. And you physically get to drive a supercar. They put you in a Lamborghini, they put you in a Ferrari,
yeah,
they
I've
put you
heard
in a
about
Corvette.
that.
Okay, either way, I've always wanted to do this, and he's always told me, hey, I want to drive a Lamborghini before I die. I always wanted to just get in one of them and punch it. Long story short, with the giftedness that I was able to do that, I could purchase the trip to go to the I can't remember, the Speedway of the Midwest or something, Raceway of the Midwest. It's just south, it's in Glenwood, Iowa, just south of Council Bluffs.
Mm.
So we go to this road course track. It's like a mile. You can't really get the cars over 100.
Oh.
To make a long story short, by the end of it, we're going to Kansas next year because you get 160 on the backstretch. But we put him, I bought a ride-along. Kansas Motor Speeder Rig.
Not
We're going to
Kansas.
go back to Kansas.
But yeah, we got the cars. He picked a Lamborghini. When I got there, I picked a Shelby, a brand new Mustang.
Oh, nice.
I get there and they go, "We're sorry, the Mustang's down for maintenance."
Of course it is.
But since you've already
Ferrari.
paid and you're here, Pick any of the other cars that we have here today.
Ferrari.
We'll just pick you into that. I picked the C8 Corvette.
Oh yeah.
Book price for the Ferrari compared to what the Ferrari was 2 to 3 times the amount what the Mustang was.
Oh yeah.
So I
Oh, so
literally
they
I
char-
want like the cheapest car, and they're like, you can just pick anything you want since you don't have a car to drive once you got here. I'm like, shoot, if I could have picked a $500 Ferrari.
Also, the price differs for the car you drive.
Oh yeah, most definitely. If you were,
Insurance, Phil. Insurance.
oh, then you have to buy. Oh, you buy the car for like the time. Then you also have to buy track insurance. And then when we went through the safety things, they're like, okay, you hit a cone. Every cone you hit's $500.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but-
do not hit the cones. You stay like a foot away from the barrier.
What?
But you get in the car, we get the racing going. I bought a ride along first. So me and my dad are sitting in the back of I believe it's a 2021 Hellcat wide body Charger. This thing has like I think it was the 700 and.
If you want supercar horsepower,
Hellcat?
but for dirt cheap, buy the Hellcat.
Dude, this thing had, I think, probably 315s to 325s in the rear. This thing was huge with tires. It had the wide body on. I think it was the 700, and like, I don't think it was a red eye, but it had like 740, either 707 to like 740, somewhere in that range. I can't remember. We're sitting in the back seat of this car, and when you get to ride with a professional driver.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is telling us about the signals going around a corner at about 65 miles an hour, and we have windows down. No, he had windows up. He's like, okay, so when we had your hands up like this, he's just cranking it around. My dad's like holding on for dear life in the back seat of this Charger, trying not to lose his pants. And then he's like, all right, we're going for the last round, all out. He wasn't even all out.
Did
He's
he
like,
drift?
oh no, but
Oh.
no, the how that car's back end did not slide out is beyond me. He goes, all right, you guys ready to go? You guys understand? Yeah, windows down. I think he took that corner doing about 75 miles an hour.
You gotta watch. There's a top.
On the backstretch, was he?
Oh, he was hammered down. We were hauling it. And the best part is that because the way the groups were, it was like there's the front ride-along car, and then there's like 4 or 5 of the regular cars that are on the track, and then you have the back car. We were in the front car, so there was no one in front of us. He was hammered down on that thing. We caught up to like 2 or 3 of the guys in front of us. By the time we got out of the car, I don't think I've ever seen my dad more terrified to get into a supercar driving around the track.
Oh my god.
And then we actually get into the cars, and we drive. Night and day difference. It wasn't like, and of course you're controlling the vehicle, so you have that. But it's like I think by the end of it, my dad was clocking over. I think he got faster than I did at the end.
Can you imagine some guy gets in a Lambo, takes it, I'm going to savor the moment, right? So he's going about 20 miles an hour around the whole thing.
Dude, there was like 2 or 3 people that actually were doing that. Like
Really?
you could see them, they were probably maybe doing 50.
Like, I want to savor the moment, like, just inching along.
Well, they had like the option that you technically, if you wanted to, they don't recommend it because they're like, you just want to experience the amount that you're doing in the car. It's like, I wanted to use the paddle shifters. They wouldn't let me.
Oh.
And then I was standing next to one of the guys at the booth, and he's like, do you happen to do any like the racing sim stuff? I'm like, dude, I got full blown cockpit, wheel, track. He's like, is it just like the simulation? I'm like, yeah, it feels just like it. I feel like I'm in Forza running around the road course, and I drove a C8 in the game like 2 to 3 weeks before that, and really, it did not feel any different. The only difference is the fact that, when you're actually going around the corner and you slam on the gas, your hand's going ding, 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 because the traction control's just going nuts.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
VR seats.
Oh my god.
Dude, I've thought about getting one of those and then getting like an actual VR headset, but at that point, man, my freaking neighbors would just, well, now I don't have neighbors, so I can do whatever the heck I want, because I own the next one over, but just literally, just get a freaking VR seat, you're getting thrown around.
Oh my god. So the Hellcat, it reminds me of there's the Top Gear Grand Prix episode where they're driving through, I think Italy in the Tuscany Hills. And they're driving, I don't remember what they were driving, but Hammond went and got himself a Hellcat. And he had a whole trailer of people with tires to replace. Because everywhere he went, he would just freaking do a donut, burn out, and just destroy a whole set of brand new tires.
Yeah.
And the thing was so loud. That'd be the nice, peaceful part of Tuscany. You just, where, just.
The freaking superchargers and those things.
Oh, they had it. Well, see, his was. I think they had a.
Was it before they had the superchargers on them?
Some sort of exhaust pack on it because it did not sound like that. It sounded fucking.
Oh no! When you stand in front of the cars, it sounds like it's screaming like a banshee, and then you go to the backside and it's just roaring.
Oh, they must have recorded off in the back then.
I say if you stand in front of those things or you're in the cabin, all you hear is the supercharger whines. But I love the fact. Okay, opinions on. I don't know how much you guys are into cars. Opinions on Ford keeping the Mustang, and then Chevy dropping the Camaro but keeping the Corvette, and basically making it the literal Ferrari. And then Dodge going into a Charger Challenger Power Wheels.
What?
Have you seen the new Charger Daytona SRT thingy?
No.
They literally took the body styles from like a 1970 Charger, slammed it on a Challenger body, and then made it electric, and then they claimed that it has an exhaust system.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah. I've thought about this a lot. There's something to be said about just that authentic gas-powered noise.
And they kept the 6-speed manual in the... Dude, there's so many people going around right now that Ford keeping the Mustang is literally going to be either the bankruptcy or other companies like Chevy and Dodge are going to bring back their motors and say, screw the EPA. Because there's a lot of people that actually... This is true. I believe, to my knowledge this day... The EPA basically got given the bird by a bunch of people that they finally outlawed the fact that the EPA shut down like chipping or tuning diesels. When you used for 5 or 6 years, you couldn't delete a diesel for like the death in them because of emissions. And then they finally got enough people to sign a petition, do whatever, that they just said up yours, and now you can legally chip your truck again.
Oh, no, did you not read... So there's an article in the newspaper. There was a big place out in Omaha. Like, they're known for getting rid of chips and stuff. No, EPA raided the place, charged them $60,000.
I think they're still trying to work something out. I don't know. All I know is that people are starting to... I love my gas vehicles to death. I mean, the one thing I love about electric vehicles is that public transportation or people that are like in the city with the scooters and all that stuff, that is a completely fine transportation-wise. But somebody that lives out in the middle of nowhere and they got to travel and all that stuff, electric, especially towing, semis and all that stuff, they just...
Well, Tesla's new semis get delivered on December 1st to Pepsi. He just literally tweeted like 2 days ago. So yeah, the semis are going to production. They'll be ready by December 1st. First shipment goes out to Pepsi.
Well, they won't be delivering to Mullen.
No, but he's like 500 miles of range.
See,
that might be able to get you to Mullen and back. You'll be running
500 miles of range, but let's put a load on that and see how far that goes down.
I don't know. He didn't say what it was, but I think it's with towing.
See, I just don't
because you're
know
never
how
gonna
do
not
that.
drive it without it.
You'll be coming back. You'll be coming back to Lincoln on half an amp.
I can't remember what the guy's name was now, but he did a video where he used that new F-150 Lightning, which I watched him do a drag race between a Shelby F-150, a Shelby Super Snake F-150, a GT Coyote Mustang, and then the Lightning. The Lightning and the GT basically were neck and neck, but the Mustang ended up finally pulling ahead at the very end. Super Snake just blew them both off the line. There was no catching that truck. But when they were showing that Lightning with the other guy, he did a video. He towed a 1924, 1934 F1, like little old Ford pickup. They said that he could get about 250 miles of range on the charge that he had or something. It was a full charge battery. He went to the place and back, and basically had been from going 30 miles there, 30 miles back, so 60-mile range. It drained, I think they said that he only had like 40 miles left on the battery. Like, it cut it almost in half.
So that's also Ford's batteries, because Ford's only been doing this for a year or two.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
But Tesla's been doing this for 10 years. Like, there was an article back in like 2016, and they were talking about the state of electric vehicles and all the companies, and they're like, every company is... Their batteries and motors suck, but the car is really good. You know, that's built well, the fit and finish is really good. And then they went over the Tesla, and they're like, the batteries smoke everybody. The motors are tiny and highly efficient compared to everybody else. They had like the Ford motor was like it was huge, and then the Tesla one was the size of a watermelon, and it was outputting more power than whatever Ford had. But they're like, fit finish sucks. but that's the thing. Like Tesla has a decade under their belt of building batteries, and so if anybody's going to do it and have a semi that's going to work, it's going to be Tesla.
More than likely, I can see that. The one thing I do like, especially how Ford's doing stuff, a lot of people gave that Mach-E, which I've only seen, I think I finally saw one of them in person for the first time like 3 days ago.
I think he's got one on the lot, actually.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt if Dylan has one.
He's got some Hyundai electric thing out there, too, now.
I can't remember what those ones are, but I do remember the Mach-E. Of course, everybody's going to give the Mach-E... You don't put a Mustang badge on the front end of a Ford Explorer.
Well, yeah, I don't know why they did it that way. Why did they just make an actual Mustang?
In their defense, they still did. Ford and Chevy and Dodge dropped their entire basically performance car line. Chevy just dropped the Camaro in full, and if they bring it back, it's probably going to be something like the Chevy Blazer, where it's just an Equinox with a Camaro-looking front end. But then you got to think about it. They made the Mach-E a four-door sedan that is electric, just with a Mustang grill in the front, and then they kept the actual Mustang with a V8 and a manual. Like, hate on the electric if you want, but they still kept both people happy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When Ford makes the most popular truck most popular vehicle in the United States and one of the most popular vehicles in the entire world, you kind of have to, not piss everybody off.
Well, Dodge just couldn't keep it because the EPA grabbed at it. But it's like, look at they're saying the development on the Hemi is the only reason that they didn't do it. They kept modifying the body, but they didn't make the engine any more efficient. Which, to be fair, when your gas mileage goes down to like 7.5, when you gun it with one of those things,
$100 right there.
Literally, they're like, you can just step on it and you lose like 4 miles of range for 3 seconds.
I love that video. It's some comedian, but like they had the top opened on a V8 and just seeing the injectors work.
Oh yeah,
and it's just all this gas getting. I'm assuming it's probably water at this point, not gas. And the guy's just like, $60 right there.
Nope. $60 right there.
Just, oh my god.
Well, then you have the other gas station ones when it's like they just go, $60 right there. I love those.
Oh my gosh. What's the smallest amount of gas you ever bought? Because I think I just beat my record the other day because I...
Oh, in terms of gallons or price?
Price.
Well, I mean...
I know exactly which one I got.
Are we talking like 5 years ago, or what?
No. Just what's the least amount you've ever spent on gas? Because I just did it the other day. Because I'll explain the story, but I will beat both of you easy.
No, I don't think you can.
Oh, actually, well, so there was one time I needed gas really bad, and the closest gas station was freaking expensive, and so I put 3 gallons in just so I had enough, so I didn't have to worry. And so I could get to a decent gas station that was a lot cheaper because I was like, no way, this is, cause I was looking at it, I was like, it was like 20 cents higher than everywhere else in Lincoln. But I absolutely needed gas. My car was going, you're going to run out of gas. Get gas soon, please. And I was like,
you can keep going on that.
I was like, well, damn. So I stopped there, put about 3 gallons in. Cost me about $10-12.
Oh, I beat you there. Okay, what's the least amount you've put?
So, on one of my trips with my buddies in Iowa, they ended up getting the guy from Saskatchewan to buy a little TSC $400 motorcycle.
Yeah.
We proceeded to take this thing to the gas station and put gas in it.
Mm-hmm.
We turned on the gas pump, looked away, talked at each other, and the thing clicked. I think we spent $1.25 to fill up the tank.
Oh yeah.
What?
I have you.
Is it? It's either $1.25 or 75 cents. I can't remember.
Oh,
It was somewhere
I still
around
have you beat.
Did you now?
So I went to.
Were you trying or what?
What happened was I pulled into the gas station, and I had known that like other gas stations were were $3.49.
Yeah.
And this gas station is notorious for being super cheap. I pull up, and I hit the button and realized, oh my god, that's $3.58. I'm not paying $3.58 when I know I can go somewhere else and get $3.49 or even cheaper.
Yeah.
So but you can't cancel. It doesn't let you cancel.
You bought 1 cent.
I bought 6 cents. I'm like,
6 cents?
yep, it's in my you can see it in my bank account.
Well, no, you can grab it and put it back in.
Amazing.
Oh well, it wouldn't. I tried it. It didn't work. It had
What?
it wanted me to pump gas. I was like, whatever, 6 cents.
Because see, I've done it before where like I grabbed it, realized I hit the wrong one, so I put it back in, and then it'll run you through the whole process, swipe your card again.
I guess I don't. Maybe I didn't do that. I don't remember. Point is, I was like, whatever, 6 cents, 6 cents. Click.
Okay, speaking of cheap things, the car wash in Val, cheapest car wash on the face of the earth.
Well, it's also constantly under maintenance. It feels like.
No, it's been open for a
never
while.
again.
Oh, okay.
The last car wash I went through cost me $200. I got it back a month later, so I went through the car wash, right? Because my parents were like, "You need to wash your car." Well, I was busy that weekend, and I didn't want to wash it myself because normally I would, because it's a lot cheaper. You know, it takes like a little bit of an afternoon, but you know. So I went to the gas station. Completely took off my my driver's side mirror. I don't know if I was too close or what, but I pull in, you know, it moves you forward. I was like, what? I used to have a mirror here. So I finished I got like, and, you know, I don't know if it was because I got like the Super Supreme Deluxe Ultra Car Wash Supreme or whatever. But, cause I was like, I spent a little bit of money. I didn't get like their cheapest one. I was like, let's get a nice, decent wash. Well, the decent wash took off my mirror. It cost $200 to replace the mirror, but it took a month before they finally refunded me. Because I had to go through this whole process of talking to their...
How about you tell them about your latest experience with your car? With something breaking.
Oh, yeah, somebody robbed my
They didn't
windshield
rob
wiper.
it.
Well, they broke it off.
They snapped the metal part of it. Just straight up snapped it. They just must have come up and then threw it into the field.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't know how.
Don't know why.
That cost $50 to replace.
I was driving down 79 the other day, and I had a grain truck coming in. The amount of times, because I about got my windshield replaced before that hailstorm, and it already had a crack in it, but then it got really cracked where there's like the big swirls on the right side, and then there's like 4 or 5 cracks that kind of just go on there.
Is that legal anymore at that point?
Oh, I don't think that windshield was legal from the first crack that was there. But I'm driving down the highway again. Again, I call up my buddies at Dilling's. I'm like, I thought I ordered it when I left there to go start working at the lake, but apparently we didn't get it ordered. So now they got to try and get the thing in, and they hooking me up with a good deal. But as I'm driving down 79 going north, there's a grain truck in the opposite lane. I do not think I have ever heard a rock hit the windshield as loud as that did. I got out and looked at it. There's a big splatter spot where it was. There's a chip that it took out of the windshield. You can literally, like, to the bottom in the middle of the pane, it broke the glass in the bottom corner.
Whoa.
Like, it had to have thrown up a rock at least that big. Jesus. Wow.
So my truck, it didn't have a... So I just went to my truck one day back in college, and there's just a crack there. It's not like something hit it. It's just there's just a crack. I don't know why there's a crack there. I'll never know. But I'm like, why is there a crack in my windshield? And now there's also a chip, but that's from a semi in the interstate, I would assume. But
there's a chip story for that red car I got as well. So same thing. This is back when I worked at that dealer. Well, at the body shop. When I worked at the body shop, I was on my way up to Wahoo, and same thing. Following either a semi, grain truck, whatever the heck it was. Threw a rock up, put a chip right in the middle of my windshield. I had this windshield for probably about a year or so, year and a half, 2 years, maybe even 3. Never had a single problem with it. This was my show windshield. I was proud of it. I loved it. It was great. Puts a chip right in the middle of my line of sight. So I can't, it's not like you can't see, but it's just a little bit too annoying. So while I'm working at the body shop, I asked my buddies, hey, can you fix the chip? $20. Get the chip fixed. Looked great. You can still kind of see where it was. 2 weeks later, the hailstorm comes through.
Oh.
Spiderwebs the whole side and the bottom. I'm like, can I have my $20 back?
Did you ask for the $20 back?
No.
Did your insurance cover it?
That car hasn't had insurance since, well, it has insurance. It's
It's
had liability since ran over it in the parking lot.
I was gonna. I have liability. That's it. So.
Yeah, that car has not had any sort of like actual coverage protection.
I was gonna say, like, you
since
can't not have.
1996.
I'm like, you can't not have coverage on it because I about got a $1,000 fine because they thought I didn't have insurance.
Fun fact: my neighbors they have a black Ford Fiesta. They bought it back in February. They're still riding the tag in the corner of the windshield with the Greg Young plate on the back. They have not licensed it. So they've been driving it since February without plates.
I mean, they might get away. I don't think they're going to get away with it come the new year because I wonder if that stuff changes every year.
No, the things that go in the windows stay the same.
Oh my!
Well, no, the other day I saw. Actually, it wasn't. It was a couple months ago. I saw a car. Legit said their expiration date was 2021.
You know what makes this great?
This was in September. Their expiration date was 2021.
They either don't drive it or they're just the luckiest ducks on the face of the planet.
I don't know. I was like, wait, what date does that say?
And then the best part, they have a second vehicle that I have not seen move in probably a good solid since they bought the car. Basically, it was a little purple Nissan pickup with you look underneath the frame, right between the cab and the bed. Frame rail's about yay thick. It's a pickup truck, yeah, right? About this tall. Yeah, about this much of it is left.
Rust. Solid.
Completely gone. Like, rust, gone. Like, that truck, if you drove it down the highway and hit a speed bump, I wouldn't be surprised if the truck broke in half. But it's like, it sits there, and then they have the one car, and the car itself is just like, they have enough money to go and buy a Baby Yoda's bumper sticker, but you can't license the thing? This thing's maybe $60 a month tops! It's probably got a salvage title on it.
But the yoga thing's like, what, $6 off Amazon?
What is?
The Yoda? Wait, what did you say?
Oh, yeah.
They got like bumper
Yoda
stickers, and the car's probably been driven more than anything. It's like, bro, that car's maybe $60 tops for insurance. Maybe. Because it probably has a rebuild salvage title.
I mean, it's possible they also have a really bad accident record, and so they just can't get insurance without it being
Well,
like
it wouldn't
mine.
surprise
It's
me. 'Cause
$1,000 a year.
about 3 weeks after they moved in, there was 2 sheriffs for, I think, a domestic dispute.
They absolutely cannot afford anything.
Well, it's been very quiet. They haven't had any problems since.
Good. Oh, good. Well,
I think we've reached our time.
Well, yes, because Phil here has to get going so he can go do homework.
Imagine being in school.
Yeah, a loser. Anyways,
I imagine graduating and getting sent back to school.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened to him. Anyways, I would like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcasts every other Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Tune in to the podcast channel where these will be moving at some point this month. And good night.